I was listening to this podcast interview the other day between a couple of Alexander Technique teachers. One is Robert Rickover. He's the son of the father of the nuclear navy, the first Jewish big shot in the military, Admiral Rickover. So Robert Rickover has been an Alexander Technique teacher for more than 30 years. And the other day he was interviewing Adam Bailey, who has a master's degree in counseling psychology from Harvard, and he's also an Alexander Technique teacher. So Robert asked his killer question: how does an educational method, Alexander Technique, help people with how they function on a physical level? How does that relate to psychological growth? And Adam made the point, when he was 22, his father died suddenly, and for a long time, Adam said he didn't have any feelings about it, but he noticed himself becoming depressed. And he started taking Alexander Technique lessons. He learned how to gradually release unnecessary muscle tension. As he began to release this unnecessary muscle tension, he felt these feelings of grief emerge about his father's death. So muscle tension for some people builds up because we're not expressing emotions in response to something that happened that was traumatic. So if we don't express those feelings, they go into the body as muscle tension. So when you release the body tension, the feelings of grief can bubble up. Adam then went to psychotherapy to deal with the grief, continue with the Alexander lessons. When you reduce this body armoring, this tension, and address the feelings that led to it, the depression lifted. And Robert Rickover relates a story that after taking this seminar in Alexander Technique, he was walking down this country lane feeling happier than he'd ever felt before. And he says, I wasn't repressing so much as subtly preventing happiness from happening, and by letting go of that repression and that tension, the happiness just bubbled forward. So when we change our physical state for the better, it affects our emotional state. So not only are there feelings associated with unnecessary muscle tension, but also muscle tension can often represent a subtle collapse. That collapse was a physical manifestation of depression, Adam Bailey says. So Alexander Technique helped him to undo his collapse and to come into a more positive alignment of the head, neck, back. And when we're in a positive physical state where our head, neck, back are aligned, it's really hard to be unhappy. So just think about the word depression. There's a physical component to that term. So as we make changes in our physical alignment, there are all these ramifications and ripple effects, and we start feeling better emotionally as well as physically. So Adam talked about one student who, when he was about to give his wife an ultimatum to get treatment for her prescription drug problem or he'd leave, his back went out, he had to have surgery, came in, got some Alexander lessons, eventually was able to follow through with the ultimatum to his wife, and he said to his teacher, his Alexander teacher, I feel like I have a spine now. So a lot of these expressions refer to physical parts of our bodies. We say that a certain person has a pain in the neck. In the Old Testament Hebrew Bible, there are a lot of references to stiff-necked people and to hardening the heart. So it's not an accident that parts of our body are invoked to describe an emotional state.